Hi everyone, happy Monday and welcome back to Livity's daily live sessions throughout January in 2024. And as I promised you last week, I was covering a major and very important topic of stress, all around stress. We laid a lot of foundation. This week, I'm back with yet another extremely important and exciting topic where there is just so much to talk about, and that comes down to productivity. So, today I'm going to talk a little bit about what it really means being productive. We'll share with you some really surprising statistics and data around productivity, and I will reveal 20 critical factors that affect your productivity in everyday life, be it at work or any kind of habit or activity related productivity. You will have a heavy list of 20 critical factors, which I have noticed that they all have a tremendous impact on how well I can perform and how productive can I be throughout my days. So if you are ready, then let's start. And before I start, for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Silvia Vitos. I'm a leadership well-being coach and consultant working with senior corporate leaders and executives, helping them create that balance inside out so that they too can live a happier and healthier life. All the well-being topics are always considered through the lens of leadership and a lot of aspects under mindset, physical health, emotional well-being covered in my programs. So, coming back to today's topic of productivity. Productivity as such really is something that accounts for the amount of work that got completed within a certain period of time and also the quality of that work. It usually worth it usually also considered in worth of contribution to the organizational objectives. So what really productivity is boiling down to is the highest possible outcome for the minimum amount of input. That's what we are talking about. So the higher the outcome with the lesser amount of input, the more productive we are or anyone is. So, a very surprising statistic, which kind of shocked me when I first learned about it, is that among those employees who are employees or office workers who are in general on paper supposed to work 8 hours in a workday, studies have shown that the real, true, pure productivity in an 8 hours workday is as little as 2 hours and 23 minutes. So it's a very shocking data because all those people are being paid for accomplishing a certain amount of work, and then not even 30% of the day being indeed productive from their side is, of course, having a tremendous impact on the organization, on the bottom line, on the results in all layers and at all levels. This is why that topic of productivity just requires such an incredible attention, because once you understand what will really keep that machine oiled and working just at an incredibly powerful way, then you will have a secret weapon to use to generate a lot more work done and at the same time keep your well-being at a very high scale as well. So, what there is as a major misconception, and what I see all over happening, is that the more hours I put in, the harder I work, the more I can get done. And this couldn't be further from the truth. There is a study made by Stanford University's economic professor called John Pancavel, who found that productivity per hour actually declines sharply when someone works more than 50 hours in a week. And those who work up to 70 hours in a week, or they claim to do so, they will not get done more, actually pretty much the same amount of work only than those who put in a maximum of 55 hours work time into the week. Isn't it interesting to just hear these numbers and wonder about we so easily connect the working harder, putting in more hours, being just busy being busy, or being busy being productive, are day and night difference between each other. So, what are those 20 incredibly important elements which each individual one would probably worth a session? And some of them I will take and just dive deeper throughout the week. This entire week is dedicated for my live sessions, at least on daily basis, to the magic of productivity and how to amplify that, how to get better at it without increasing, rather decreasing the stress factor. So the first that I would like to mention is definitely leadership. And even if you are a leader, you will also have a leader above your head. And just reflect on it from your experience. This list I have made based on my experience. And I have also spent myself 15 years in the corporate world, so can relate to many of these very clearly. So leadership is having a tremendous impact, because whether someone is really micromanaging me, whereas I just want to be empowered, and by the way, every person is slightly different. What kind of attention and detail do they require from the manager so that they can thrive at their best possible way? It will make a difference. But who is the leader above my head, and in what leadership style the person is acting, behaving, taking decisions, and just giving me guidance, setting expectations, so many things. Communication is a big one. It will have a tremendous impact on my performance and productivity as well. Now, the second one I'd like to mention is our state of being. If you have seen some of my live sessions last week, or if not, you can go back, watch them. I explained a lot around why at a state of being, when we are stressed out in this high arousal, what is happening in our brain, what's happening in our physical body, and why this is not the time to be productive, to be focused, to be creative, to look for solutions, because we just don't have that capability to think clearly when we are stressed out. So being stressed out versus being relaxed will have a tremendous impact on our productivity. The third one I'd like to mention is incredibly important: sleep. Insufficient sleep affects everything: our cognitive abilities, how we take decisions, how good is our overall performance. I'm sure any of you can relate to that, that when you don't have a good night's sleep, then you are just like dragging yourself through the day, maybe choosing tasks to focus on which do not require that heavy brain power. So sleep will have a tremendous impact also on your productivity. The fourth one is movement and exercise. And by the way, all these are intertwined. When we exercise regularly, it will have a huge impact, of course, on our cognitive function, on all the bodily processes, also on our sleep, especially if you get that exercise in the morning hours. It will just amplify that circadian rhythm that we naturally go through every single day. Now, coming to the fifth one, energy management. So, understanding and managing your own energy fluctuations, which will likely be very different than anybody else. So, it's worth paying some attention and measuring it so that you know when is your peak performance really expected. Is it more in the morning hours, more in the evening hours, in between? We are all different. And even the days during the week will make a difference. So when you measure that, pay attention to it, then you can really use that to just consider that when you do your weekly and daily planning, what type of tasks you will consider at which time during the day and on which days during the week, based on your energy fluctuations and flow. So energy management is the fifth one. The next, number 6, is how do you fuel your body? The food you eat, the hydration, what you drink, what do you consume, what kind of nutrients you really allow and put into your body will have a tremendous impact on how well you function. Your brain has, by the way, its specific diet. I will dedicate one session this week to this element because it's so important. The food we eat and how it impacts the productivity straight away, the brain diet, what kind of food it is that we would need to prioritize at least on daily basis so that our cognitive function can be amplified through the necessary nutrients that it requires. Hydration also, maybe you know that by now that 75% of your brain is made up of water. And studies show that just 1% drop in hydration could lead to a 12% drop in productivity. So sometimes when we feel fatigued or tired already or cannot focus that much, oftentimes the first thought is, oh, I didn't drink much today. Maybe I just grab a cup of water. And that will straight away make a difference as well. So food and hydration. Number 7, your environment. How is your environment? How do you feel? How are the energies? First of all, clean environment will definitely help you focus and not get distracted. Just the space you sit in. Do you have some plants around? Is it a nice environment to be in? How is the noise factor? Do you have many people sitting around you? And to which extent are you able to really focus and get the work done that has to be done? People you are surrounded with, and that is valid also, of course, for your teammates, for your peers, manager, all the people around you in the organization and at home as well will have a great level of impact on your productivity. Think about that when you are considering how to increase your personal productivity. The next one is relationships, which is linked a little bit into the environment, because when you have balanced, well-functioning, well-oiled relationships, which you are well maintaining, it will fuel you and charge you and give you a sense of motivation. Your well-being will be very positively impacted. So your productivity will also be amplified. On the other side, when you are struggling with conflicts, arguments, left, right, and center, not finding that balance, whether at home with your friends, in your social circle, at the company, in the organization, with your team, maybe, or with your manager, all these aspects will have a clear impact on your productivity because it's a disturbance. It will have an emotional impact, and as such, a stress factor will be amplified, and that will play a role in your productivity. The number 9 is about the clarity you have on your goals and tasks and how well do you plan, how many great tools are you utilizing to really be clear about what goals you would like to achieve, what are the tasks that will lead you to those long or midterm goals in a short period of planning time. So this is also a skill that can be learned, how to set goals, how to plan with those goals, and how to chunk them down so that you can really just smoothly implement things rather than getting overwhelmed with them. The next one is number 10, motivation. How motivated you are and what motivates you. So it's also about knowing yourself, knowing your team members, if it's also about productivity of your team members, let's say, and what are those intrinsic and also external motivations and factors that you can use and utilize to amplify that productivity. Oftentimes, when we, let's say, accomplish something, no matter how small or big, and rewarding ourselves with something that we enjoy, something small, it usually is a very great factor of just acknowledging our productivity, our efforts, and rewarding it, like these small acts of rewards can really bring in a gamified approach. The next one is 11, processes, systems, and structures. So when you are repeatedly doing over and over the same things or receiving the same questions, then just asking yourself, how can I automate this piece of work? How can I simplify it and systemize it so that it will make our life easier and it will help us not to waste so much time with just that one same repeatedly upcoming act, whatever it might be. So processes, systems, and structures. Number 12, distractions and intentional focus time. So, of course, technology is a big one here. Social media, emails, how do you systemize that? How do you structure your day with focused time on a certain project or activity that you need to do or accomplish versus being reactive and letting those emails popping up every minute or every other minute and being distracted and responding them immediately and just being in that robotic mode will waste a hell lot of time and energy of yours. So when you create a systemized structure around it, around your energy flow, your personal energy flow, the type of tasks and activities you need to accomplish, that will create magic in how nicely you flow through these and how well you can keep it under control and get things done. And on the same note, 13 is taking sufficient breaks. We are not machines. We are kind of walking, talking computers, and I talk about it a lot. Nevertheless, we do need those breaks, those breathing and quick walking movement breaks. This is where I often recommend Pomodoro technique for those who really can work with that. They love that tool so that they can just get re-energized and do those small sprints for the individual tasks throughout the day is a very powerful way of working and productivity. Number 14 is technology. How do you take use of technology? Do you let technology take your power away and keep distracting you and just messing around with your energy, with your flow, with everything? Or do you use technology in a smart way and implement tools and techniques with technology that will support your productivity? Those are very different ways of using that computer, that mobile phone, and whatever else it might be around you. The 15th, number 15, is the culture you live in and the culture, the company culture you also are part of on an everyday basis. So that will again have a major impact when it is aligned with your own personal core values. It will help you thrive. But when it is completely against that, you will have trouble being productive and focused in whatever you do. Number 16, we have 5 more to go. Number 16 is about knowing your strengths and weaknesses and using your strengths and building upon those. So, really amplifying the strengths and whatever your weaknesses are, just be aware of them and know who are people who are strong in those areas and how you can learn how you can delegate relevant tasks to those people. So, knowing your strengths and building upon them is number 16. Coming to number 17, it's feedback related, especially again as a leader, asking for feedback and being open to receive it, embrace it, and just take note of everything you hear and then analyze, of course, and understand what are the aspects that probably worth considering and implementing going forward. Receiving, asking for feedback and receiving it, being open, receiving it. Number 18, skills and what kind of trainings are available for you or how are you looking for developing certain skills that will actually help you amplify your productivity is also a major one. Number 19, mindfulness practices or lack thereof. So when we are familiar with our own self and paying close attention, how are we feeling? How is our stress level right now? What is bothering us? What is our internal chatter, our inner voice telling us? And how to work with it? How to utilize our gut feeling, for example. So many things come to this mindfulness part. And when we learn to really understand and connect to ourselves, it will also help us amplify that productivity factor promised. Now, number 20, and that's the last but definitely not least, is your habits and routines. To which extent are you aware of your habits and routines? How are they working out for you? And how could you tweak them, modify them, and improve them so that they will serve again positively for your productivity? Is a major one as well. So feel free, I hope you took a lot of notes. Feel free to come back to this session and go through it again and see what are one or two elements that you could probably consider for increasing your own productivity, and you can go and implement this straight away. One small help I would love to offer for you, if the energy management part is something that really interests you, then I will just show you that I have that beautiful energy tracker, which is super simple, super easy to use. You can define the days, the times in the days when you would like to track your energy, and it will show you the graph and the patterns. That's just an example I'm showing here for you. It will automatically build a graph, so you will be able to take out the patterns on daily basis and also on the weekdays or any days during the week. How is your energy flow changing? When is it dipping? When is it higher? So that you can build your tasks around it. If you would like to get this energy tracker sheet, drop me a comment or send me a DM, energy, just the word energy, and I will happily send this your way so that you can utilize it and track your energy and find out more, understand yourself better, and build then everything else around, because this is one of the basic foundation that you can work with for a better tomorrow. So that today's session became a little lengthy. I really appreciate all of you following on, listening to these nuggets. I hope you have a lot of takeaways that you can implement and consider for your leadership and well-being journey. As I mentioned, I will be back tomorrow and throughout the week, diving deeper into the topic of productivity. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you around or having you tune in into these valuable live sessions. See you tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and bye for now.